But we got to try to keep this thing streamlined so that we can do this in a manner that works. Colonel Fleming.
Okay, the National Weather Service, Jonathan here, has said 29 feet on the gauge right out here. That's what he has said, that's what their prediction is. We have produced an inundation map, which we put right here in front of you on the table. You can come up and take a look. That map does not have the resolution. It is not able to go down street to street to street. Okay? So when I'm telling you 15 feet of water, 15 feet depth of water, okay, that's the best that I can do with this information. Now, if you're going to make a decision on whether I should flood fight or not, based off of that, that's one piece of the information that you have to take into account when you make your decision. The other piece is the gauge that they said is going to read 29 feet. The other piece is, if you were here in 73, where you saw water in 73, and I'm telling you, it's going to be about the same, maybe a little bit worse. Okay? So this is all kind of bits and pieces of information that you have to take into account when you make your decision. I don't want to come in here and tell you you're going to have 3 feet, and then 15 feet shows up, and you say, hey, the Corps of Engineers told me 3 feet. So the best information that we have, with the technology that we have, with the time that we have to pump it out, I'm going to tell you 15 feet. From the ground up. Okay, now the National Weather Service will tell you 29 feet on the gauge. Now you know, oh, that's the crest. Now you know from living here what that gauge means in relationship to water on your property. You know that better than I do. Sir. That's correct. I am not saying that. Okay. He just asked me, am I saying it's going to be 29 plus 15? No. I'm telling you depth of water from right here, 15 feet. Okay? Where we're standing. So someone can reach up 15 feet. That's probably up to the roof of this building. Okay, but I'm telling you, and again, the map that I have only has 5 feet increments. Okay, so if you come over and look at this map and you see a color here, the color green is 10 to 15 feet. Okay, so if someone might come up here and say, oh, it's only 10 feet. Okay, I'm not going to tell you 10, I'm going to tell you 15. It's one piece of information that goes into your decision-making process. Okay, sir.
We all know we have a problem. According to the information, the internet page, people right now is 18.5. According to your information on your internet, it says that such dates are 25 and 25. If you go to plug in, it's going to get 27. Now, in 1973, according to your date, 27. That means that it's back or back according to the gauges. Does the gauges lie? Is there anything that says change those gauges? Or just to believe that something has changed?
Okay, look, the gentleman has asked me a question with a lot of data and a lot of numbers about gauges and history and 73 and all that stuff that we have on web pages. I'm more than happy to take a look at it. After we're done taking questions from the public, he's going up and sit down with Tom and myself and Ted, and we'll talk it through, okay? Thank you, sir. That's a great question, and I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I mean, you'd have to call your insurance company and talk to your insurance company and see what they were going to tell you.
Please repeat the question.
The question is my insurance going to cover this? I don't don't know. I don't work for the insurance department.
How you doing, Bill Shaw, the Council Manager's Office? We were told this morning that this is going to be a natural disaster. Now that is relative to the flood insurance program, not Allstate's program or the other private insurance companies. But as far as the federal insurance program is concerned, this is considered a natural disaster.
That's a great question. This gentleman has asked, why aren't the gates cracked gradually instead of open all at once? And the answer to the question is, we will crack them gradually. We will have a slow opening of these gates. We're not going to open the entire spillway all at one time. We're going to have a slow opening. We will take into account the fact that from an engineering perspective, we don't want that structure to give way and scour, and then we have a bigger problem because that gives way because you open it too fast. We don't want to open it too fast because, you know, there's a big black bear population out here. There's deers, there's all sorts of other things. We want to allow them to find some place to go and some other considerations. We also want to make sure that you have a place to go and you have enough warning. So we're going to crack it probably over a 2 or 3 day period and have a gradual opening of the structure. Sir. Right. What I'm telling you is, it doesn't, look, the inundation map that we have released has taken elevation of property into account. Okay? So it doesn't matter what the elevation of your property is. If you look on this map and find your property and it's colored yellow, it's between 10 and 15 feet.
Can I follow up that question? What if the land, as you go up Butte Road, so that the surrounding marshes are like 16, 17, 18 feet. Well, I'm from 3 Mile Lake. This is the closest public avenue of mine. So our elevation is 20 feet for like the road area. So on top of that, that difference in on your map, it shows a broad thing of about 5 to 10 feet. I feel like it's a difference from the forest.
Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. Okay? I'm not sure if I'm not communicating or if you don't want to understand. What I'm telling you is, when I say 10 to 15 feet, and I use 15 because that's on the upper end, that is depth of water. That is depth of water. It doesn't matter whether you're at 2 feet, 3 feet, 7 feet, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your base flood elevation is. This is our estimation based on the technology that we have here.
But it's supposed to be from the ground to surface to the top of the water. That's exactly.
Depth of water.
In relation to the canal now?
In relationship to the ground you're standing on.
That guy tells us that you're telling us that 18 foot in that canal, you're going to add 28 foot at the top?
Listen to me. From the ground you're standing on, 10 to 15 feet of water.
Plus the bottom.
Not plus anything. Not plus anything.
Well, what's the elevation of this ground?
Doesn't matter. It's immaterial. I don't know what it is.
How much about sea level over there?
He's not going to tell y'all. He's covering his mouth. Well, I can't understand that.